Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Ace Trainer Podcast, episode 5. My name's Jaws, and joined by Necra as always. Got a bit of a different episode for you today. A little bit later on, we're going to be looking at the Sun and Moon sets and discussing what our favorites are. The favorite cards, or just like a set as overall. And yeah, we'll kind of walk through that. And I really want to hear what everybody else thinks too. So leave your thoughts in the comments on the topics that we cover and Sun and Moon sets. What's your favorite? But we'll start off with the Time Gazer and Space Juggler. Rose, they're starting now to slowly release the secret rares and the full arts and whatnot. So I thought we'd have a look at the latest reveals.
I gotta say the one that jumps out at me immediately is the Machamp V alt art.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I've seen so many memes on social media lately about like how many arms do you need, or like what do you do if you have too many arms, and like that is the picture I feel like that describes it all, is that Machamp V alt art. It's so good.
It's so good. Seeing Pokemon in like a setting that isn't like a battle or anything, I've always found really cool. And that is the
Yeah.
perfect card for that. He's running around just helping some shopkeeper lift some empty dishes and carry some parasols by the looks of it. So yeah, oh my God, it's so cool.
It's a special one for sure.
It is. The Origin version, Dialga too. So they're doing the Origin versions from Legends of Arceus, which is really cool. So we're seeing those finally. But they're like actually called like Origin form Dialga, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And then along the same lines, the other Hisuian Pokemon from Legends Arceus, like I was looking at the Lilligant V, that is the alternate art, and it is just so cool. Like I really like that
Yes.
Hisuian form of the Pokemon, and then also to see that card and that Pokemon get an alt art, good stuff.
It's
There's
cool.
some really, really good cards so far.
And any cards that include not only the Pokemon the card is about, but other Pokemon too, is a humongous tick in my book. Like I love seeing other Pokemon in the frame, and I love this card specifically because the little Pachirisu just hidden away in the tree. I thought that was so cool. They also have Jirachi V, which looks really awesome. They're doing this like galaxy kind of thing, I assume because of Dialga and Palkia, which is kind of sweet. So they've got this, man, I can't think of the style of painting that is, but you know, just like kind of throwing spots at a wall kind of deal. A
Yeah.
Jackson Pollock, if you will. And we do have bigger blow up versions of the different characters as well from Legends of Arceus in Full Art Trainers.
They look really cool as well. More of the characters you can find playing the game, and get them also getting a little bit of the spotlight as a trainer card. I hope they're good. I don't know what they do yet because I can't read Japanese, but
Yes.
we'll figure
Hopefully
it
they
out.
are good. They obviously have the Secret Royal ones too, so the rainbow versions. The Origins Dialga, that card frame looks busy. Like there is I'm sure it won't look as bad when you actually hold it in your
Yeah.
hand, but like because it's photocopied or like, you know, someone's taken a photo of it, the light is always kind of funny, but it looks extremely busy on the eyes right now. So I'm excited to see that card in the flesh. Should be quite cool. And then you have a pair of running trainers, which I assume are just mountain climbing boots or something. Not entirely sure. And then we have what looks to be a stadium card, which is kind of a winter wonderland, which is one of the areas
Yeah.
in Arceus.
That is the Path to the Peak. And actually,
There we go.
that card got released is a part of the, I want to say, Crown Tundra.
Oh,
So
okay.
Chilling Reign, I think, is where it came out. So yeah, that's a really, really good stadium card. It seems to be very playable in the TCG right now. So the fact that we're getting a gold version of it, I feel like that's gonna be
It's pretty cool.
a pretty hotly contested card.
Yeah, oh yeah. And we have some of the ones that were released. That was the Time Gazer ones. This is the Space Juggler. We got all this information from Poker Beach too, by the way, in the top left of this little frame. I'll put the link in the description. If you're on Spotify, you can just go on the Poker Beach website. It'll be on there. The Beedrill flying through the meadow of flowers, which is pretty awesome. Origins Palkia has got to be one of my favorite cards in this set because it is so trippy. I forget the famous painting. In fact, they've referenced it up here. A quick skim. Yeah. Mokesh's, okay. MC Escher's, yeah, Relativity. Yeah, stairs going over the place, and like
Yeah.
Palkia just kind of sitting in the middle. Like it looks pretty damn cool. I do really like this card.
Yeah, those are really neat. I just think like all of the alt arts that got released are just so cool, and you could see like Hisui and Sneasler. We have more full art trainers that are going to be really awesome additions into whatever set comes out next. I guess Astral Radiance. Hopefully, we're going to see a lot of these cards. And then also we've got other great secret rares. I'm just super stoked about what's coming up next.
Oh yes,
Looks like it's going to
Temple
be a
of
huge
Sinnoh.
set too.
Yeah, this looks humongous. Like Astral Radiance must be, God, 150 plus maybe, including secret rares, maybe more than that. Like kind of
I think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like another Fusion Strike because Fusion Strike's
oh,
card list was
massive.
massive.
It was
So
huge.
I just feel like Astral Radiance is also gonna be on par with that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to follow the same path. Not too bad, but sometimes when you're collecting, you're like, man, this set, oh my god. Unless you pull like some of the secret rares or something, or like one of the more expensive cards, I'm like, I can't complete 200 plus cards. I
Yeah.
just can't. It's too difficult. It's too difficult. I tried to do that
Oh yeah.
with Darkness Ablaze actually. When I pulled the Charizard, I was like, okay, I'm going to complete this set, but this is the only one I'm going to complete because the next few sets are hella big. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is the only pain point I will say. And of course, the V Star Gold version of the Origin Palkia as well looks pretty sweet. I prefer
Yep.
Dialga on this one, but still, the card frame does look very busy. So when that actually does come out in real life, when we can actually hold the card, I'm sure it won't look as crazy. But yeah, gold cards are always a fan favorite. All right, let's move on. We've got a bit of news to cover before we head into the Sun and Moon set overview. Pokemon Go news, Rose. New costumed
Yep.
Pokemon arriving for the spring event.
Yeah, the Spring into Spring event is back in Pokemon Go. I know, very creative. I love it. But it's really awesome because I feel like if you didn't play last year, maybe you missed out on the opportunity to get some of the flower crowned costume Pokemon. So those are back with some new additions. So you can still get the Chansey, the Eevee, and the Pikachu, but you also have Baniri, and you also have okay, I'm blanking. Oh, blanking right now. Oh, Togekiss.
Oh,
Yes,
okay, yeah, yeah,
Togetic.
yeah.
You can get Togekiss with a flower crown. Pretty
It's
sweet.
pretty sick.
Also there's half hatch distance, I think, for eggs. So farm those. It's going to be great to be able to open up the 2Ks, and also if you get any of the 12Ks, that might have your
Oh man,
Landed in there,
yeah, that is a lot
maybe.
off the hatch time there. 12Ks, going at
Yeah.
half, not bad. I love costumed
Ooh,
Pokemon. Oh,
sorry.
excuse you, it's
Huh.
all good. I
I'm
loved
allergic to
costume
spring,
Pokemon.
so
Allergic. I really well. That's maybe not good for you. I guess not going
I
outside
guess
because of
not,
the
but
flowers
I'm
and
still
stuff.
gonna play my heart out.
I really love costumes Pokemon. I think they're sick. They've done them in the TCG a ton. They've
Mhm.
mainly in Japan. It's not really a thing over here as much. They've done cosplay Pikachu a
Oh,
ton of
yeah.
times. The Mario and Luigi version. They've done one that I love and I actually have a box of, which was the I forget the actual name of the box, but it's Pikachu dressed up as all like the villain organizations.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's Team Rocket, Team Aqua, Team Magma, etc., all throughout the ages, and he's dressed up as each individual one of those on the box. And the full art is him
Mhm.
dressed up as Team Skull, which is really sick. And then the
Love it.
other little promo in there, not a full art version, but it's just loads of Pikachu's in different costumes, like poking their head in the frame. Like it's awesome. Oh, and he's done Rayquaza as well. He did Rayquaza. He
Yep,
did
yep.
just every Pokemon under the sun, Magikarp, obviously, Charizard, etc. Like I love the idea of just dressing the Pokemon up, and they look extra cute when that happens. So excited for the Pokemon Go event.
Agreed. Yep, so go check out those Pokemon in the map, and hopefully you get some good stuff.
Yeah, fingers
Also,
crossed.
Tapu Bulu in the game.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's a new one that is coming in with the emergence of the Alola region in Pokemon Go. So I already caught one. I also caught a shiny costumed Baniri
Ooh,
yesterday. So
spice.
I've had a good day. I've had a good event so far.
Nice, that's sick. And hopefully you didn't have to go outside and risk your allergies. There you go.
No, no, I definitely it's worth the risk. It's okay.
More news from Japan again. There's a tournament going on at the moment, which is a little bit
Mhm.
of a different format to what we're used to seeing. When you told me about this, I was like, damn, this is actually sick. It reminds me of like a triathlon almost, except
Yeah.
it's not a tri, it's just a duoathlon. Not sure what you call that, but it's
Biathlon?
biathlon. Yeah, I guess we'll call it that.
Okay.
Where players play both the TCG and they also play singles in the VGC. So they not only have to be good at the TCG or the VGC, they have to be good at the other one. So that's pretty awesome to hear, actually.
Yeah, I was so excited about hearing about an event like this because I feel like for a long time, content creators have wanted to see some amount of crossover happen for the video game and the card game. We just haven't really figured out exactly what to do. So even like a couple months ago, or it was actually last, oh my God, it was last year. Yeah, last year in January, we had the Unified Cup that Victory Road ran. And so we had a
Oh,
TCG
right.
coach that taught a VGC player how to play the TCG. And then we ended up playing a bracket. I didn't do so hot. Sorry. But I think this is still a really cool, unexplored concept. And I would love if obviously it was doubles VGC, because that's the standard format for when you play in a Pokemon tournament. But it's really neat to see that this is kind of like a soft introduction. And we definitely have some professional players in the Pokemon community that can play both games really well. So I think it would be really cool to just kind of see that.
Yeah, hopefully it does open up changing the rules and being doubles next time around. I think this
Yeah.
is a little bit of a test of like how they can do different events, and I think this is really
Yeah.
good. It's definitely one of the only franchises, Pokemon that is, that can do this kind of thing because there's so many facets of the actual franchise: VGC, TCG, Pokemon Go,
Hmm.
etc., etc., etc. So having them combined like this, I think is really cool. Hopefully we'll see something like that in the West too. It's definitely something that I would love to get into because doing a bit of both is always more fun than just kind of concentrating on one. You just kind
Hmm.
of want to hands in multiple pies kind of thing. So I think that's really cool. Yeah, hopefully we see something like that over here. If it's popular, which I'm going to be honest, I can imagine it would
I feel
be.
like it's going to be.
Yeah, because like if
Yeah.
you go and you're really good at TCG, you get to practice with players that are maybe good at the VCG and the other way around, and you can kind of teach each other, and it's just kind of a learning experience overall. It just
Exactly.
makes you a better player in both of those genres of play, the TCG and the VCG.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
right. Let's get on to our next segment. I'm really excited about this because I was thinking about this a ton the other day, and we're going to be using PokeCollector's website. Again, I'll leave a just link down in the description below. This is where I go 99% of the time. I even have their phone app, and I use it for tracking my entire collection of cards, which is
Hmm.
very helpful when you have so many cards. If you've been in the hobby for so long, like both of us have. Um, they've got a list of every single set of all time and all the promo sets and everything else. We're going to be using their website to go through and talk about our favorite Sun and Moon sets. And hopefully we'll do that with Sword and Shield when the new Pokemon sets do end up coming out. But yeah, Rose, I mean, kick us off. What do you think, or maybe narrow it down? Oh, and I will say we're not doing subsets. It's just like
Hmm.
mainline sets. So we're not doing Shining Legends, Hidden Fates, anything like that. It's just going to be Sun and Moon, Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, etc. So yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's like a popular set in the eyes of the community, but a set that has a lot of personal meaning to me is Unbroken Bonds.
Ooh, okay.
Unbroken Bonds was the first box that I had opened since like early days of collecting like the base set and everything like that because I just kind of forgotten about Pokemon cards for a while as I was, I didn't really have the money for it and like, it was cool to think of a pack here or there, but I didn't start seriously looking at collecting again until I had the opportunity to open up some Unbroken Bonds. And it was also because that co-aligned with my first professional Pokemon broadcast.
Oh, okay.
So that
Wow,
was
cool.
2019 North American International Championships, and that's what I got. So
That's awesome. I think Unbroken Bonds is a really cool set. Like, really cool. I love, always have done, tag team, another Pokemon in the card frame.
Mm,
Looks pretty cool.
mhm.
Like, and having that extra meaning too is really awesome because you're always going to equate, like, oh, this is from my childhood. This is the sets I love. Like, for me personally, obviously going back to like base set and whatnot, like Team Rocket specifically for me, I'm like, damn, that brings back a lot of memories. Like, there's a lot of things tied to that and different cards as well individually. I'm sure everybody's kind of got stories out there. For me, opening the starter deck with the first edition Machamp, in
Mhm.
the back of my grandparents' old car. Like, I remember that specifically. So yeah, it's always like nice to kind of tie memories to individual cards or sets. And yeah, just looking through Unbroken Bonds right now, and they have, oh man, this card is one of my favorites in the set. Lucario Melmetal GX, like
Oh,
a fighting
yeah.
force of two Pokemon. It looks so sick, and they're all in motion too, which is always
Yep.
cool to see. Let's scroll down to the Secret Res and see what we got. Oh, it's got, well, I mean, Sylveon's in here, so that makes sense why it's one of your favorites as well. Sylveon
I
and
mean,
Gardevoir. Do they have a Sylveon Full Art? Oh, they have the Sylveon Gardevoir Full Art, which is pretty cool.
yeah.
These were really interesting, Rose, too, because this is one of the first times, I believe, they did a full, like, block color background, which really, like, emphasizes the Pokemon. And they did, like,
Yeah.
a very nice, like, outline of the Pokemon. So in this one, it's pink onto the blue, which is really cool, like, contrasting colors. They look really sick.
Yeah, I really like this set. I feel like this is where I also fell back in love with the TCG. And so not only does it have like sentimental value to me, but also, hey, Melmetal Lucario, that wasn't that bad of a tag team combo to put into a deck. And same with Marshadow and Machamp, right? So it's really cool to get a chance to kind of look back and see all of these different combinations of tag teams that we're good in the
Yeah.
TCG also. Yeah, Reshiram and Charizard, like,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I have very fond memories of looking back and playing standard with these cards.
They had the gold version of the Reshiram Charizard as well in that box. It was like an oversized and a regular
Yeah.
version that was golden, which is pretty sweet. One of my favorite cards out of this set would be Koga's Trap. Koga and
Oh,
like just
yeah.
the original gym leaders for me are just so cool. It's really unfortunate that Sabrina's Suggestion, my favorite gym leader, is very pricey. Otherwise, I'd have picked that up. I've got a Giovanni's Boss's Orders. I think the Hidden Fates one, and maybe it's not Boss's Orders, but I got
Oh,
that one.
Giovanni's Exile?
Giovanni's Exile, that's the one. Yeah, that's
Yep.
one of my favorite cards from the recent sets. I picked that one up pretty cheap too, which is quite nice. I really enjoy old cards. I think you know that, and I think a lot of our audience knows
Mhm.
that too. At this point, and Celestial Storm for me is a set in Sun and Moon that holds a lot of weight. Like there are, if anybody collected around, I guess it wasn't base set artwork or anything like that. It was more Neo Genesis onwards. They've used a
Yeah.
ton, and through the EX sets too, they've used a ton of reprinted artwork in this set. So you can scroll through here, and if you've never seen the artworks before, go back and look at like Crystal Guardians, for example, and just pick up some of the artworks and like, oh god, that's from that set. And for me, that's what I love, because the EX sets for me are my favorite sets of all time. EX Team Rocket Returns specifically, and seeing all the old artworks being reused in these new card frames and everything is really cool. Like this Lotad, I'm pretty sure is actually from EX Crystal Guardians. I'll have to double check, but yeah, I mean we're talking EX Ruby Sapphire artworks in here as well, Rose.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a throwback, and I love when Pokemon decides to, like, do stuff like that. Like, I feel like with the Celebrations 25th anniversary set that came out, everybody went nuts for it. And it was because they reused all of the old card artwork from cards that have so much history
Yeah.
in the TCG. And so I love that. And I'm really happy that everybody gets to kind of reminisce in that. But I do feel like Celestial Storm was one of those sets that kind of flew under the radar when it came to seeing that old card artwork come back.
Yeah, definitely. That's yeah, the whole like reminiscing and having newer players like being introduced to like really old artworks that look really cool. I think is great. This Don Fan one, which I just opened up, is from Neo Genesis, I believe, and you can tell like how old the artwork is. It's a super
Mhm.
different style to what we're used to right now. Mr. Mime GX is actually an EX from Fire Red Leaf Green, but it's called, I've been calling it EX Fire Red Leaf Green for the longest time. It's Red Fire Green Leaf. I've been calling it the other way around because the games are worded differently.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay,
was
yeah,
like,
you're
wait,
right.
hang on, I've been calling it wrong this whole time. But the Mr. Mime GX here
Oh,
is
that's
the EX
funny.
version, and in the Red Fire Green Leaf one, he is the opposite. There's two of them. They're like opposite way rounds. It's kind of weird. It looks funny. Tyranitar as well, another really good old artwork. But even some of the full arts too look
Hmm.
incredible. Like we have the Electro, which is also from a Redfire Green Leaf, TV Reporter, which has been used in the TCG for the longest time. So having a full art of that was also pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the full arts of these, and like you said, I think it was just the overall aesthetic of the full art as well, with just the solid colored background. It makes
Oh
all
yeah,
of these different Pokemon pop so much. So it's really neat.
it is pretty damn awesome. Is there another set that kind of grabs your eye within Sun and Moon? Of course, we had
I
some crazy early on sets. I think Sun and Moon base is also pretty damn solid. You have the Umbreon and the Espeon full arts in this one, and the
True.
shiny versions too. Not shiny versions, sorry. The secret rare versions as well.
Yeah, is it a hot take if I like the base set? Because
No,
I don't know,
I
because
don't
I
think
feel
so.
like, well, it's weird to me because, like when you think about Sword and Shield, no one really thinks about collecting anything from the base set. So maybe that's why I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's a bit of a hot take that
Okay.
I like a base set. But to be honest with you, I really like Sun and Moon base set. It's not even just because of the evolutions that exist in that set. It's just that I just really liked the Alola region.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was like such a cool and different experience to a lot of the different games. Um, I don't even remember where XY was supposed to be, but it had been a full generation since we had had like New York kind of era was black and white. So yeah, it'd been a bit since we had traveled somewhere different, and so I liked going to the Alola region, and I like these cards a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you can tell there's a lot of influence in kind of the Alola region and just being sunny and like tropical kind of climate. I thought was really cool, and
Hmm.
you can see that in the card artwork. Like they're all extremely bright, colorful, especially the grass, which normally is. But even like the water, I'm pulling up a Poliwell right here. It's like a really sunny
Yeah.
day, and the water's like glistening, and the and Poliwell is just kind of looking and staring into it, which is pretty cool. I tell you what would be a hot take, by the way, uh, probably Crimson Invasion or something like that. I
Crimson
think,
Invasion or Burning Shadows.
yeah, but what's crazy about Burning Shadows is it's one of the sets where it's like, okay, Charizard's in it, and Charizard full art GX secret rare rainbow, like it's in it. But then the rest of the set around it is
That's just
like,
so lackluster to
it's
me.
okay. It's all right. I think the full art trainers are kind of cool. Guzma, I know, was used in the TCG a lot. That's pretty cool. Wick is in it too, but apart from the Charizard, it's not my highest rated set. And to the audience
Yeah.
too, let us know what your kind of favorite set is for Sun and Moon. We'll probably end up doing a tier list video for these sets at some point. I think that'll be very fun for us to do. Guardians
Hmm.
Rising Rose was also a set that people didn't overly like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like that happens a lot when you take a look at like the more recent years of expansion. So like I'm like thinking about X and Y, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. Poor Sun and Moon, Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, and Crimson Invasion kind of
Yeah.
got the Rebels Clash Darkness Ablaze treatment, or like vice versa. They're just not sets that people are super excited about. And like even when you take a look at the like battle styles too, Chilling Rain, ugh, they're not great, but they do
Yeah.
actually offer a lot of cards and features that are important to the TCG. But I do think it's just kind of a difference of, do I like this set because it's a fun set to collect, or do I like this set because there are cards in it that I need to play the most meta deck possible in the TCG? So I do think that there are kind of two different lenses to look at it from. But I will say, Jaws, I think one set that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about yet, but that is still super, super hot in the market right now is
Okay.
Lost Thunder.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lost
I think
Thunder.
Lost Thunder is really, really big set.
Oh yeah, this is when they had the Prism cards. It was a very early on
Yes,
Prism thing, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna pull up the Celebi Prism Star, and it took the
this one's
reverse
big.
slot too, which was really nice. I like the fact that they're using the reverse slot for multiple different things at this point.
Like the amazing rares and the trainer gallery
Exactly.
arts. Yep.
Yes, I love the fact that they're swapping that out. It changes things up a little bit because you could get like a crazy pack where you get a prism
So,
or
yeah.
you get like a training gallery and then you also get like a full art. You're like, what? This pack's insane. Like that, I think that
Yes.
adds to the level of like, oh my god, if you open one of those packs.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember like the Zornius Prism, the Celebi Prism. I think specifically was a pretty big card for the TCG. But like, yeah, I think just looking at this set, it was really fun, not just to open, but to also play with. And so I think that's where a lot of like the respect for me goes to the set is that it got a really nice mixture of both. And also like there's tons and tons of full arts in this set, really beautiful for the trainers specifically. I really just liked that they showed some personality for the trainers. It wasn't just like, a portrait of them. So
Yes,
I really liked that. Like, I think the one that really stands out to me is Professor Elm's lecture, where
I've
you
got it
have
up
like
on
all the
screen.
starter Pokemon. It's so good. It's like I think it's really just amazing artwork in this set. And it was also just a giant set. So
Yeah, it is huge. 214 cards. Like, what? And that's not
yeah.
including the secrets either. Like, that's insane. Another set where you're like, oh, I've opened some cards, and you're like, oh, do I complete it? Oh, that's going to hurt the bank a little bit. But once you do, your binder looks sick.
Yep.
I do love the full arts in this set. I'm just kind of skipping through a couple now, and yeah, like the personality I think is great, and a lot of characters that aren't necessarily as popular as well,
Mhm.
which I really like being introduced in the TCG, so people can be more familiar with them. I think it's awesome. I just pulled up the judge card, which I've always kind of liked, and just like
Yeah.
pointing out like
Yep.
a foul, Faber, you
Yeah.
have, oh yeah, my god, Lugia GX is in this set too. Wow, I completely skipped over
Mhm.
Lost Thunder personally. I at that time I was moved. What date was this released? Actually, was I moving to the States at this? Oh, this is just before. Oh no, this is like a year before I moved to the States. This is when I was just getting back into collecting properly because I was like, man, I got some extra money now. This is sweet. I'm gonna buy some cards. But this is just before that, and I kind of regret not picking up a couple of these because we're looking what Suicune GX, Tyranitar. Oh, that's Pachirisu, Raikou. Suicune GX in this. Tyranitar,
Yep.
one of my favorite Pokemon. Definitely a sleeper set, but at the moment, you look at Lost Thunder, the prices are crazy.
Yeah, the packs right now actually go for $8 a pop. They're expensive.
That
For
is
for what I
on.
would consider like a more
Yeah.
recent TCG set, I think $8 is fairly expensive for just a generic expansion, you know?
Yeah, and it being such a large set too, you're like, wow, I am. If you're trying to get a hit for you specifically, you're like, damn, do I just buy the card or like do I try and pull it? It's always nicer just pulling it itself, but being such a big
Mhm.
set is definitely a lot more difficult. I'm looking at the amount of secret rares too, kind of insane. A ton of gold
Yeah.
cards, and of course the ton of rainbow secret rares. Another set that actually, this is when I was like really like getting back into the TCG and collecting, or like I wouldn't say getting back into it. I would say getting back into the modern side of things. I was still
Mhm.
always collecting like the EX sets and the previous to that, but it was Team Up. I bought a fair bit of Team Up, and it was one of my favorite sets because again, double Pokemon in there, but it had some of my favorite legendaries. It had the Celebi and Venusaur, which I was really
Mhm.
pumped about.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I can kind of think back to any of the Sun and Moon sets and be just, like, super excited. So, like, I don't know, it's just great to be able to talk about, like, our favorite sets and all of the amazing aspects of them. Because like, a lot of them I just do they have unique aspects.
Hmm.
But, yeah, Venusaur cards are always good.
Always good. And I do remember when Team Up was released or announced, it was the reveal of the Pikachu Zekrom card, which was
Oh
pretty
my
sweet.
god.
That was pretty hype.
Pikachu Zekrom is, like, kind of sick. Like,
Yeah.
I hate that I was this person, but I was a Pika-Rom player. I was
Oh, okay.
100% a Pika-Rom player, and so, like, yeah, Team Up is a big set for me because Pika-Rom was probably my favorite deck to play before it rotated out of Standard, and, yeah, so you had, like, Pika-Rom, you had, like, Raichu, which was a really big card, so, yeah, this set's
There's
really
a
fun.
lot of cool cards. And I've just noticed too, this is where the other half of the Mr. Mime is. The Mr. Mime GX from the
Yes.
reprint from Celestial Storm. And EX team up, Sun and Moon team up, sorry, from Red Fire, Green Leaf. This is where the other version of the Mr. Mime is. There you go. I found it. I found it eventually. And just the
Nice.
regular card arts too are really great. I just pulled up a Puccino, which is a common, really kind of like sticker-like. It looks very cool. And some of the full arts, the alternate arts in this set are crazy. The Gengar Mimikyu, and the card is like very dark. It looks like they're hiding in a cupboard, and it's
Yeah.
the Mimikyu's just kind of chilling, and Gengar's got obviously the classic big grin. And this has some expensive cards in it too. Team Up, looking back at it, I'm like, damn. The Latios, the Latias Latios heart card I've got on screen, unbelievably expensive at this point, like unreal. And the Japanese version too, also incredibly pricey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it had some of people's favorites, gym leaders. Don't forget,
Brock.
like Team Up, yeah, Brock, Erica. Like, I'm now remembering this set, and I'm like, oh my god, they had some crazy, crazy cards. Erica's Hospitality, fan favorite.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sabrina's Suggestion, also a full art in this set.
I'm never gonna get Sabrina. I have come to terms with it. I'm never owning a Sabrina Suggestion. It's just not happening. I'm trying to skip through to it now. Hope you guys
This is
can
only
kind of, see.
75.
There you go. I mean,
I say only, but like only as in terms of like the Pokemon Girl cards go, that's not that bad.
yeah, it's not.
It's not that bad.
I was going to attempt to collect the entirety of the gym leaders. I was like adding up. I was like, oh, Giovanni's not bad. I'm not going to buy Boss's Orders. I'll buy Giovanni's XR. I think that card's pretty cool. And then it got to like Erica and Sabrina and all. I was like, oh man. And then obviously Misty too. I was like, okay, maybe I just get Giovanni because I really like Giovanni. I don't know. Maybe at one point I'll buy Sabrina's Suggestion, but he still needs to complete EX Team Rocket Returns. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, and I guess we'll kind of wrap it up and talk about Cosmic Eclipse. I think this has been a set we've talked about recently, but just pointing out again, another big Venusaur card, but this was where they introduced, I'll scroll all the way down to it, but the character, or like the trainer gallery card. So you had the Piplup one, and I'll bring up the most popular one, of course, the Pikachu with red in the frame.
Yeah.
Humongous set as well.
How could you not like that? Like that one just always I feel like is gonna jump out at anybody as the kind of the OG, like you have to have it kind of deal.
Oh yeah, another quite expensive card. I'm looking at it's got some prices on here too, about $44 right now. I remember when this card was like $5, by the way. Like, it wasn't too long ago, like back early 2020. I'm pretty sure I picked up one for like $7-8, and now they're
nice
$40. Yeah, and this was at the time I was actually in Japan, so they had a ton of obviously the Japanese variant of these cards. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick up a few, and the Lily. The pre-release Lily for that set, I think it was the Dialga Palkia set. Yeah, the pre-release one with a little stamp.
For Ultra Prism, I think.
Oh my god. Yeah, that version, but the Japanese, the trainer gallery one, I was like, oh my god. I picked up that for like $8, and now it is rather pricey. I'm like, holy moly, I'm gonna really take care of this one now. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't think it would be that much, but yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So,
that one specifically, I feel like Lily is gonna be the most expensive.
Yeah, and being a special like promo version too, especially the Japanese side, yeah, a lot harder to get, especially in the West. Yeah, any final thoughts on the Sun and Moon sets?
I think they're great. I really hope that, you know, if you want to collect them, I feel like the time is now to get in on it before they get even more expensive. But there are definitely some really, really nice cards in this set, and it's always fun to go down memory lane a little bit.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I permanently live on memory lane. I own mad property on memory lane because I live in the past, especially with the TCG, that is. Yeah, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, what your favorite Sun and Moon set was, or if you can't decide, what your favorite cards from that era. And we'll be doing a Sword and Shield version at some point too. Obviously, when they stop printing Sword and Shield versions, we'll kind of go through them, and we'll do a tier list. I mean, we might as well at this point. We're a podcast. We have to do tier lists, so we'll do a tier list of Sun and Moon soon as well. One bit of final news before we do end up signing off: we will be taking a short break. Rose, you're going to be away for a couple of weeks.
I am. Yep. I will not be back until the week of the 4th. So that's when our next episode will be. And we're switching to Wednesdays because Jaws and I are doing Owl.
Doing Overwatch League.
Ta-da!
If you haven't seen the thing already, then yeah, we're doing Overwatch League this year, so it's going to be a good time. So we will be swapping to Wednesdays because Thursdays we will more than likely be busy, so we might as well just push the podcast just a day before. But yeah, hopefully that's all right, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks on the 4th. It's going to be a good time. We'll have a lot of news to catch up on, that is for sure. But from us here, thank you for watching, and we'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.